Welcome to Marath, Will of the Wild. Hope you're excited. Playing against Nekusar. Really excited about that. A little Magic After Dark. As far as opening hand goes, I love this hand. If we had a second land, we're on the play too. Yeah, let's go on Mulligan, man. It's so hard to pass up Oracle. We'll go on Mulligan on this one. Yeah, we can make this work. Swords of Plowshare against Nekusar. That's going to be really good. We have Signal of the Clans, kind of dig a little bit deeper. A little bit of ramp. Yeah, we'll keep on this one. You too? Hey-yo. You too. Let's get that chat closed out, and then let's get Marath pop back up. We're going to keep on this one, see what the Scribe reveals. Hopefully it's Cultivate. That'd be really nice. I'd like to get Cultivate, a little bit of land ramp, but beggars can't be choosers. I'm happy with this, the land that we got right now. So see our opponents once a mulligan past 6 or not, and then we can... oh, sweet! Awesome. Little Magic After Dark going. Phyrexian Hydra, yeah, let's go put that on the bottom. Best of luck. Always enjoy getting to play. All right, let's get the chat closed out. Let's go and make the land drop for the turn. Let's go and lead off with the Sheltered Thicket. I think that sounds good. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. We're playing Marath, Will of Wild. Enters the battlefield with the number of +1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. X remove counters from it. Put X +1 counters on target creature. Deals X damage to creature or player. Then X create an XX green elemental creature token. X cannot be 0 on all of those. Opponent's going to lead off with the Caves, and they're playing against Nekusar. I'll cover Nekusar in just a second. Let's go and get the Plateau down. Get the Selesnya Signet. It's going to be 1-2. We're going to go and pass the turn. Playing against Nekusar, the Mindrazer. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Nekusar deals 1 damage to that player. Now, the correct pronunciation of Nekusar is Nekusar, but I've called it that. I've called it Nekusar forever, like a dinosaur. I don't know why. I process language in my head very weird sometimes. If you've been a watcher of my channel, you may have noticed like why I call Kodama's Reach for a long time Kodamo. Anyway, I pronounce words weird sometimes. I don't even realize I'm doing it. And that's actually hold on, let's get the turn down and I'll jump into that. We need to get Marath down at this point right now. Or we go for the Maulers. Let's go and get the no, let's go for Marath. Let's get that going. Let's go Marath. Click on Marath. Let's go and cast it. Let's tap this first. Let's go to the Firelit Thicket. Tap the Signet down. Tap for red. Tap for red off the Sheltered Thicket, actually. That way we can leave up Swords to Plowshare. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why this turn is such a struggle. There we go. Get down Marath. We're going to go and pass the turn. We have Swords to Plowshare up. But yeah, so, it's like I've never been diagnosed with like a learning disability. But it's just like when it comes to reading, like I read books and stuff like that. Huge Stephen King fan, which, in fact, if you haven't read The Stand, oh, wonderful book. Go read it. It's a wonderful book. It's a lot of pages. It's like 1,000 pages. One of those books where I got to like page 600 and I was just like, I want there to be more of it. And then I read through the Game of Thrones books, or at least through book 3, then I got burned down on it. Sever the Bloodline. Okay, we're going to miss out on Marath. It's going to go back to the commands. Ooh, draw to Farseek. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Let's tap out for 1, get this Signet down. Yeah, let's go and go for Farseek. Then we can go for Signal of the Clans next turn. I like that. Let's go and grab we do have that White Source, the Signet. Let's go and grab the Cinder Glade. I think that sounds good. Grab the Cinder Glade. Enter the battlefield, 2 more basics. Comes into play tapped, and then we'll have Signal of the Clans to go for. But yeah, so like when it comes to reading, like I don't know what it is. I just don't take time to sound stuff out sometimes. So when I come across a word, I don't take time to sound it out, and then I just process it in my head. I'm like, all right, there we go. So Nekusar, it's always been Nekusar to me instead of Nekusar. And so if you ever wonder why I call it Nekusar, like a dinosaur, that's why I just... And it's one of those, like, I do change the way I pronounce certain words sometimes if I say it wrong, but for some reason with Nekusar, we've built such a reputation as him being Nekusar that I just can't, I don't know, I can't call him anything else. It feels weird. So unfortunately, that's just kind of how it's going to be. Let's go for Signal of the Clans. We're going to search for 3 creature cards, reveal them, put it in our hand. And then let's see what we want to kind of search up on this one. How we want this spread to go. I'd like to get some ramp going. Let's go Oracle. Yeah, search your library for 3 creature cards, reveal them, different names, choose them, one of them at random, put it in a hand. Let's go for Oracle. Let's go for Courser of Crufix. And then I guess... what else sounds good? Sudscorch Regent? Or we could just go for a utility card with Recruiter of the Guard, or something like a Ripjaw Raptor, excuse me. Yeah, because we've got the 2 utility spread. We'll go Forgotten Agent. There we go. Courser Kruvix. Okay, wonderful. Just wanted to have some sort of land creature to go for, and I will take that. And then Signal the Clan. If you're not playing Signal the Clans, go for it. Wonderful card. 2 mana, instant tutor. You're always going to have 3 different creature types. You're playing Commander. Let's go and get the Wooded Foothills down. Let's go for Courser of Kruvix. And then we'll tap out for 1 off the Firelit Thicket. And then Plains on top of our library. Still have Swords to Plowshare that we can get the Mauler down. In fact, let's go and go for that. Let's go and crack the Wooded Foothills. Let's go and grab the, any certain way we want to sequence this. We need to get red down. We do have red off the plateau. Let's go and grab Taiga. Let's grab Taiga. Let's go ahead and go for it. We're going to gain a life off the Courser Kruvix and Nature Lore on top. Let's tap out for white, get the Signet down, and then tap for red, get the Mauler, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. So we're in a pretty good spot. We got Nature's Lore on top. We're going to be able to search our library for a forest card. Hopefully there's a land underneath it. We can tap it out with Courser of Kruvix and then start ramping and then kind of going from there. Now if our opponent does get down Nekusar, that's going to be wonderful. We're going to get that card draw going, and then before they have a chance to go for any sort of wheel effect, we're going to go for Swords to Plowshare. That way we can at least get a little bit of advantage of the card draw. That's one thing with Nekusar. It's one of those commanders that you have to have it on the battlefield. I mean, you can play Nekusar and not have it on the battlefield and win, but it's just one of those like all-in commanders that like your win percentage with Nekusar on the battlefield is so much higher. And in fact, it reminds me I need to do Magic After Dark sometime soon. We haven't had that late night Magic show in a while. But yeah, as far as I don't know, I've just always called it Nekusar, and it just sounds weird calling it the other way. It's kind of like you learn. That's what it is. It's kind of like you learn your grade school friend, like you've always called them like Pete or I don't know, whatever. You've called them a certain name. Yes, we're gonna use that ability. You've called them a certain name, and then you realize like their legal name, their given name, and it just sounds weird to call it that. That's kind of how I feel about Nekusar. It's just kind of, hey, it's what it is. He's my buddy. That was we played a lot of. He was the second commander deck that I built outside of Omnath. I found him, and he made me realize like, oh. It's fun to get kind of wild in Commander sometimes. All right, we're going to get 1 damage dealt to us. We're going to draw an additional card, draw that Hydra, and then we have the Hate Seed on top. Let's go and go for the Nature's Lore. We're going to have that forest come into play untapped, and then hopefully we can get a land off of that. Actually, let's do the Filter Mana first, which is going to be the death of me. Get the Tiger down. There we go. Get the Signet going. Woo. Go for Nature's Lore. And then let's go and grab something that's going to come into play on top. We'll grab that Savannah. And then maybe there's another land. Nope, the Sprouting Photo Hydra. What are we going to go for? Marath is going to be 5. That's going to keep us off any sort of wheel effect. I'd like to keep Nekusar off the battlefield. Let's go Swords to Plowshare on Nekusar. It's going to clear the way for us to swing in. Let's go ahead and go for the Savage-Born Hydra. It's going to be Double Strike. I think I like that. It's going to be red. Does not have haste, but we're still just going to go get down main phase since our opponent's shield's down. X is going to be 2. And let's go and push in for 5. Got the Courser swinging and got the Mauler coming across for 5. Put our opponent down to 29. That's going to be 1. Let's see how much mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if they do make the land drop, they'll be able to get down Nekusar again this turn. So we'll see what's going on. Now we do have Sprouting on top, so it has Defender. Whenever it's dealt damage, you may create a token that's a copy of it. Love that card, and I love going Hydras with Marath. Marath suggested me to build for a birthday deck, and I didn't really know how I wanted to go with it, but I do know that Marath is a really fun enabler. It's a lot of fun to kind of get the stuff going, all the different modes, and so I don't have a Hydra deck, and I like kind of, as I build Commander decks, I've realized that I have certain decks that fill certain roles. And I like to build certain decks to where I have homes for cards. So, as a new set gets released and there's a new Hydra that's printed, Hydra's really cool. I want to have a home for it. I want to have a place where the Hydras can go live and run out in the forest and have some fun. And so I'm glad we built Marath Hydras. We can get Hydras in there. I think Hydras is like outside of the main phase. Fever Visions, okay. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Outside of I love zombies. Zombies are a lot of fun and some other tribes. Outside of zombies, I think Hydras are probably one of my favorite. Oh, yes, we're going to use that ability. Destroy all creatures. Why not? We'll get one on there. And our opponent's not going to have their lands untapped. All right, drawn to the Sprouting Photo Hydra. Not photo, but maybe that's how you say it. Let's go ahead and go for Marath. It's going to be 5. Yeah, I like that. Get some pressure going. Let's tap the Filter Mana first. So let's need a Signet. Let's tap out for red. It's going to be 1, 2, and then 2 more. All right. Then we're going to go and pass turn. So we have a 5/5 body. And then we draw into Sunscorch Regent off the Instap, drawing an additional card. Absolutely love this card. I've had this in Breon WrestleMania. I threw it in there just as a little bit of a value play. You get this down, and you can really start casting some spells. You get a +1 counter, and you gain a life. And especially in multiplayer Commander, because it's just like a 5 It's 5 mana cost, 4/3 flyer. But you get that down, and people start casting spells, you start gaining that life. Plus, next thing you know, you've got like a 9/8 Sunscorched Regent swinging across. A lot of fun. Love it. Drawing to Gruul Charm. Okay. Let's go ahead. We need to get as much stuff on the battlefield as possible. So we have 5 mana if we need to go for the Sunscorched Regent, and they will be casting a spell to get a +1 counter. All right. Let's go and swing in for 5. I like that. Swing in for 5. It's going to be 5 total commander damage that we've dealt, and then we should be seeing Nekusar coming down next turn. Now, one of the once we pass the turn, I'll kind of cover that against Nekusar. Let's go for Sunscorched Regent. It's going to give us the best bet to kind of cancel out the negative effect of Nekusar making us draw a card and losing a life. All right, it's going to tap out for white. That still leaves us on Gruul Charm to go for that. With Gruul Charm, gain control of all opponents and then deal 3 damage to each creature with flying. So we're not really going to have to worry about it at this point right now. But if we want to get into spots where we go for an alpha swing, Gruul Charm would definitely be a good way for us to kind of push across. Now, playing against Nekusar, one of the ways to win against Nekusar is letting it get on the battlefield, and then basically it's using the cards quicker than the Nekusar player can do. You want to just be aggressive as you can as getting threats on the battlefield, because Nekusar is going to allow you to start drawing extra cards. So as long as you're drawing those extra cards, and you can use your spot removal to take care of Nekusar, or you can just get down a bunch of value creatures and really push past your opponent. Like, let's say our opponent keeps casting spells, and we end up with a really nice Sunscorched Regent. We have a 5/5 Marath. We go for Gruul Charm. Creatures that flying can't block this turn, so we're going to be able to basically say, Nekusar, sit down. You can't block. Be a good way to kind of go for that. But really, you just want to kind of out-resource your opponent. That's going to be one of the ways to deal with Nekusar. So if you have Nekusar in your play group and you're really, like, it's a little bit of a bummer playing against them or you feel kind of frustrated, just try and just get as many threats on the battlefield or load up on spot removal. Once you get rid of the spot removal, you can just sit back and take advantage of stuff like Fevered Visions and just start drawing all the cards, which is just one of the best things to do in Magic. All right, so your opponent's going to be tapping out for, more than likely, we're going to see Nekusar coming down, I would assume. We'll see what's going to happen, though. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sever the Bloodline, flashback on Marath. Okay. Let's go and activate in response to that. Let's go for, get those tokens onto the battlefield. Yeah, we're going to have some bodies. We're going to do 1. And I love that whenever they originally printed Marath, they had to put in the 0 clause in there. I love that. Sometimes when you design a card, you're like, uh-oh, missed something. There we go. I always want to make sure I'm clicking on the right one. X is 1, get those elemental tokens on the battlefield. We're going to gain a life on Sunscorched Regent. It's going to be a 5/4 body. And the Marath gets sent back to the command zone. All right, and we have Ancient Tomb too to kind of take advantage of that. Let's go ahead and get Nekusar popped down just a little bit. There we go. Okay. Drawn to Ripjaw Raptor. Let's go and get the Ancient Tomb down. Let's go and push in for 7. Coming in. And let's go for the Mana Gorger Hydra on this one. I like that. We might be able to also get down Ripjaw Raptor too. That sounds good. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 9 total mana. Let's go for that. Let's go for Ripjaw Raptor. It's going to be green, green. 2 off the Ancient Tomb. And let's go ahead and go for the Mana Gorger Hydra. That way it's going to have that trample. We can slowly start working towards that. Let's go and tap the Firelit Thicket on the Selesnya Signet. Tap the Cinder Glade down. Go for the Mana Gorger Hydra. And then we're going to go and pass the turn. So as far as our board state goes, we have a 5/4. We have Gruul Charm. We actually probably end up cycling that Scattered Grove. But we're looking at 9, 10, 11, 12 coming across. It's going to put our opponent down to 5. And especially if they get down Nekusar, we still have Gruul Charm to go for that. And allow us to go for a nice board state. So they're going to cast an additional counter. It's going to be 6/4. It's going to be 2, 2, 8, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to almost having a lethal board state. Kind of depends on how many spells our opponents cast. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Okay. It's going to be Sunscorched Regent trigger. Put a +1 counter on there. Unfortunately, it's not going to survive, but the Ripjaw Raptor will, and the Sunscorched Regent will survive too. Anything else that we can go for to kind of salvage this board state? No, we're going to lose the Elementals and Mana Gorger Hydra. We still have Ripjaw Raptor out there, which is good. So your opponent's going to go for. Well, we'll still go ahead and cycle this Scattered Groves, kind of go for that. Okay, opponent's going to go for, Ob Nixilis. Okay. Get out Ob Nixilis, they're going to be able to go for that -3 ability on Sunscorched Regent. The good thing is, if they go for -3 on either of our creatures, we're still going to be able to go for the, be able to take care of Ob Nixilis. All right, so we're left with Ripjaw Raptor. Let's go and cycle the Scattered Groves. Drawn to Arid Mesa. Okay. All right, let's see what we draw into. Grove of the Burn Willows. Let's go and get down I guess Arid Mesa at this point. Let's go and push in with Ripjaw Raptor at the Obnixilis. Swing it in, get him off the battlefield. And then let's go ahead and get down Marath on this one. I like that. Let's go ahead and tap down, well, we may not have to tap down Ancient Tomb. Let's go Savannah, Celestia Signet. It's going to be 1-2. Let's go for Marath. Let's tap out for red, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't necessarily need to leave up Girl Charm, I don't think. It's going to be 1, 2. That way, you know, Nekusar, a couple wheel effects. That's a lot of damage. You kind of got to have to watch out for it. That's going to be 3 total mana. All right, we're just going to go and pass the turn. So if we need to, we can actually just go for, Hardened Scales. Okay, a little bit late to the party, but I definitely welcome that because we can get some good counters going. The main thing is, I think what we may end up doing is, I like to get a little bit more card draw going. If we can get some spot removal or something to kind of keep Nekusar off the battlefield. Other than that, if we just simply just kind of maybe overwhelm our creature with our opponent with creatures, we can start getting some of those tokens. We'll just kind of see how this turn develops before we kind of go for that. But yeah, as far as Marath goes, this is definitely a Hydra build of Marath. But with there being so many more enraged creatures that got spoiled recently in the Rivals of Exelon, I ended up doing kind of like a spin-off of Marath, going for kind of a really an enrage enabler. As much as I love Gashoth Park, Gashoth is not really much of an enraged commander. Opponent's going to go for riches. Each opponent chooses a creature he or she controls, and then you gain control of those creatures. Each opponent chooses a creature, you gain control of those creatures. Okay, so let's go ahead and, before they have a chance to use Marath, let's go ahead and make a token. X is going to be 2 on this one. Okay, so we're going to get that element. Let me make sure I'm reading that right. Each opponent chooses a creature he or she controls, you gain control of those creatures. Okay, so we're going to go and give our opponent the green elemental creature token. And then with Girl Charm, we're going to be able to get it back. I like that. All right, we're going to choose the elemental. They're going to gain that one. Opponent will be given the elemental, and then we'll still be able to go for Girl Charm to kind of bring it back to the hand. So we'll be in a good spot for that. And then with the sprouting, we get on the battlefield, start dealing some damage. We'll end up with a bunch of defenders. So that's kind of fun little interaction in the deck. Let's go and get Nekusar popped down just a little bit. Little baby, tiny Nekusar. Don't even know a word yet. All right, opponent's going to pass the turn. Let's go and crack the Arid Mesa at this point. Get that land on the battlefield. That way we're not drawing into the one land, or at least our opponent's going to be going for that draw. We have a bunch of red-white sources. Go and grab a Stomping Ground. That way it'll shock it in later. And they'll draw a card off that Fevered Visions. Okay, see what we got going on. Heroic Intervention. Wonderful card draw, especially if we're going to be looking against a bunch of board wipes from our opponent. Let's go down Grove of the Burn Willows. Let's go for Hardened Scales. Tap out for green. Not red. Tap out for green. There we go. Get down the Hardened Scales, and then do we want to go for the Sprouting Hydra? Or do we want to go for a big Marath? Let's go and do this. Let's go and push in. Yeah, I like that. Let's go and push in with the crew. We push it in for 9. If our opponent wants to block with the elemental, that's fine. We don't necessarily have to use the Girl Charm to gain control of an elemental. That's really not the end of the world. Get in for 4, put our opponent down to 13. And then, yeah, let's go and do that. Let's go and go for the Sprouting. It's going to be 1 off the Grove. Grove. That's going to be 1, 2. And then get down the Sprouting. Yeah, I like that. And we still have enough for Girl Charm and Heroic Intervention. Okay, get the Hydra down. All right, anything else? We're going to go and pass the turn. All right, now with Marath, what we do is we do have 5 mana, so we can actually remove those counters from Marath, put those counters onto the Ripjaw Raptor to have a lethal board state, potentially swinging in like that. Opponent's going to go for Windswept Heath. Okay. But yeah, so we can put, once we move a counter from Marath onto Ripjaw, basically we're going to be able to turn those 5 counters into 10. Because it's going to be, if 1 or more counters be put onto a creature, put that many +1. So basically each counter is going to be 2. So if we go for 5 mana, remove those 5 counters under Ripjaw, it's going to end up with a 10 counters on it at 14, 15. So we'll see what our opponent's going to go for. If they end up tapping out for Nekusar or anything else like that, they'll end up going for that. We're going to make sure that we leave up Heroic Intervention if we're going to push through a lethal Ripjaw Raptor. So that's what we're trying to go for. Get that down on. Ooh, I just realized how far behind on the clock we are. Sorry to our opponent. Sorry about that. Always try and keep it pretty even, but sometimes you've got a lot of clicking to do, or interactions with modal creatures. That does happen sometimes. Okay, we're going to see Nekusar finally hit the battlefield. All right, let's have some fun. Let's see if our opponent has any wheel effects to take advantage of. That's going to put them at 4 total mana. So really that's going to be about 1 wheel effect. I think they've already made the land drop for the turn. Yeah, they did make the land drop for the turn. So once they get Nekusar down on the battlefield, most of your wheel effects are going to be between 3 and 4 mana. So we're actually pretty good as far as trying to survive this turn. And especially if we have the Grill Charm next turn, we get enough counters on Ripjaw Raptor. We do have to watch out for spot removal. We do have a lot of cards in the hand. But luckily, actually, now that I think about it, if they didn't go for a wheel effect, that puts us in a spot to where we don't have to worry about that. Once we get to the end step, we're going to go ahead and go for that. Okay, let's go ahead and do that in response. Let's go ahead and move a counters on that, put it on the Ripjaw Raptor. That's going to be 1, 2. X is going to be 1. Put 1 counter on there. It's going to turn that into 2. Now, if we did 2, it'd only be 3 counters. The way we're splitting it up now is we're going to get some extra counters on there. X is currently 1. Okay. It's going to make it a 8, 9. Yeah, 8, 9. Let's go and go one more go off Marath. Make sure I clicked on the right one. Put X counters on that Ripjaw Raptor. Okay. X is 1. There we go. And that's going to make it a 10, 11. Okay. And then we're going to go on. I'd like to leave up Heroic Intervention. So what we can do is swing it with Ripjaw Raptor. Hopefully we kind of force lethal, and then we can do it last minute to kind of send that up there. All right. Get the Nekusar triggers coming across. We're going to get 1 damage dealt to us, draw an additional card. But we'll see if this Grill Charm is going to be enough to get it done. Keep our fingers crossed that it is. It's a little scary when your opponent's got 8 cards in hand, but they've only got 4 mana up, so hopefully we should be able to kind of survive this. Let's go to get the mountain down, and then let's go ahead and let's go for Grill Charm. Creatures without flying can't block this turn, so it's going to be green and then red. And then we're going to push in with the Ripjaw Raptor and the whole crew. Basically, so we have 12 on the board right now. We move 1 counter onto the Ripjaw Raptor. That's going to make it 12, and we'll have lethal with Marath. Let's go and swing in, coming in hot. But either way, we've got, hopefully we've got lethal coming across. And we still have Heroic Intervention backup, so. All right, let's go and swing in. Coming in for 12. Opponent's not going to be able to block, can't block because Nekusar does not have flying. Let's go and remove 1 counter from it and put the counters onto Ripjaw Raptor. That's going to make it a 12-13, and that's going to be exactly lethal coming across. Oh, good game to our opponent. Wonderful. All right, it's going to be lethal, and then make sure it goes through, then we'll kind of start talking. There we go. Put it down to 0. So you can see where if you're trying to play against Nekusar, one of the main things to do is just kind of keep him off the battlefield and then really take advantage of stuff like Fear Vision and putting enough pressure on your opponent. We did get down the sprouting, so that didn't really matter in this particular matchup, but I do really love the interaction between Marath and sprouting. Ooh. Opponent had gone for Windfall. That would have been pretty brutal last turn, but it'll be good with a fresh grip. But unfortunately, that does happen sometimes. So good game to our opponent. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.